Spackle dog.
It's just bits. We came up with a new slur, and my belt is off.
Let's go. We're on our way out, folks. Mentally, physically, and I'm putting Kellen down after this episode.
He won't allow me to exist if he's leaving.
Yeah.
Look, folks, you made it. For those of you listening to this episode that also listened to the first episode, you have gritted your teeth and made it through every painful minute of this drunk yelling podcast.
God, like marrying an old guy to try and get the inheritance. You've gotten it.
We're dying.
We're dying. And you have inherited it. And
the way Melania thought she would feel 10 years ago is how you feel now.
And it's been about 10 years. What did we get, 6 years? 6 years?
6 years of the podcast, probably?
That's pretty solid. And 100 and some change episodes.
Yeah.
That's good.
This podcast did good. And by the way, we didn't pay for these mics.
Yeah.
You paid for these mics.
And the Australians, in part.
And the Australians. Are they not our listeners? Do they not listen every week?
I'm sure they might.
Have you not been getting constant emails while we were on hiatus?
Are you not entertained? I think that's a solid run. I think that's really solid. Except for a couple gaps there.
There were gaps. There were planned and unplanned hiatuses.
Yes. There were... oh no, I'm an adult all of a sudden.
They got stuff to do.
It was like,
but we continued into actual adulthood mostly.
Yeah. It started in... I mean, I wish it had a cooler story of like it started in a garage and now we're in a high rise, but it started in an apartment and now it's in a different... I guess
this one's on the 5th floor.
So. We started on a ground floor apartment and we're on a 5th floor condo.
Started in Westmont, now we're here.
Now we're in Edgewater.
We got to end the episode talking about Tremors somehow.
Be easier to talk about Dune. Dune is the new Tremors.
True.
It's the other sandworm, though, to be fair.
Dune's the new Tremor. Oh, big worms in the ground?
It's the other one.
You know I'm into it.
There are two. So it's not... It shows the evolution of the podcast to end talking about Dune
now
instead
it's
of Tremors. Yeah.
I mean, Dune... I did have Dune shit in our first Patreon.
Oh, yeah.
We made Patreon. It's the pictures of us looking like Dune guys.
And that was before Dune came out.
Yes, like, I drank the spice. I had drank the blue water and I could see the future.
No, before the Dune movies that everybody knows and loves comes out. It was back when it was...
I'm pretending that those are the first Dune movies ever and I just knew. I didn't read anything. Or watch a David Lynch movie. Rest in peace, David Lynch and America.
And America. Oh, that's another great thing about not being on this podcast with Kellen. I have not kept up on politics, and boy, does it help your mental health.
The other day, me and Maheen told him a number of the things that had occurred, and he was like, well, that's why I don't listen.
Yeah, that's terrible.
Did you hear we're at war with Canada?
What?
We're going to trade...
I haven't heard anything.
Okay, so for basically no reason, Trump is like, 25% tariffs on Canada.
Why? They're our friends.
He says because people are pouring into the country and they're
sending Canada,
and they're sending us fentanyl. Apparently,
these are opposite.
These are both stupid. But of course, a bunch of idiots are now like, "Well, if Canada had treated us better, you wouldn't be dealing with this." But here comes the fucking rain, Canada. Like they're all stupid.
And we pay the tariffs.
Yes, we and all the people that voted for him. The price of eggs is skyrocketing.
It's $10. For eggs.
Yeah.
That's insane.
No, except this morning he had a talk with the president of Mexico, and they won't be doing the tariffs for a month. We've delayed them, and we'll see what happens. And he's talking later today
Please just be
with
full
Trudeau.
Of shit about everything.
I think he's full of shit. What's not full of shit is that Elon is going to run the government.
That's not good.
Because he and the Department of Government Efficiency, which is not a department, it's just some guys that he made up.
Oh, it's just corporate leaders that they were just like, here you go. You can have the government.
So I'm
guessing. I don't know.
No, yeah. He has the treasury in some sense. I don't really know the specifics of it because I don't know how stuff works. But he's just kind of walking into government agencies and going, I want all your files and control of everything. And then if people don't give it to him, he fires them. And I'm unsure how he has the ability to do that because he has no official position. But people do seem to be leaving jobs, and he does seem to be in control of things.
How does it... Yeah, here's my question. Okay, so the president comes into your work at McDonald's and fires you. How... Then Like,
But he's
your
not even the-
manager has to sign off on that still.
He's not the president even. He's just a very rich guy.
So the president's friend comes into your job at McDonald's and fires you, and then your manager's like, yeah, you're actually fired.
I think it may just be that the manager's like, I must be outranked here.
So a lot of these firings are just like, I don't know if this is how it works, but it might as well. It's kind of how it works.
But I don't want to piss off the very powerful guy.
Oh, God.
It turns out, this is a very
This
sad
is why
I told
I'm
you
not
so
paying
for me.
attention.
It turns out America's not a democracy, like I told you. Because as soon as anyone pokes the democracy, it goes straight through, like a picture of that lady in...
democracy
Green Mile
has tunneled out.
Yeah, democracy is gone.
Yeah.
And Carter
It's escaped
Peterson
to Mexico.
is poking through that guy's asshole. Really, a lot of metaphors layered on here.
It's literally escaped to Mexico. That's great. Into Teja Huicha.
Tijuana?
No, it was a really long, complicated
Tenochtitlan?
name. Something like that, yeah.
Zawatenejo.
Zawatenejo.
Yeah, you're talking about that Family Guy episode.
I was actually talking about the movie Shawshank Redemption.
It's a real movie?
Yeah. No, after. It came out after.
Right. Like how the Dune book came out after the Timmy Team Dune.
After the Dune book came out after Kellen went into a fugue state and started ranting at a coffee store that the writer of Dune happened to be at.
Frank Herbert was alive and at Dark Matter Coffee.
And that's why Kellen doesn't drink coffee anymore.
I just start being like, and the eyes, they go blue, they blue within blue. And you God, your mom's hot. And Frank Herbert was like, I can do 6 books of the best sci-fi you've ever written based on that.
He's like, I was an accountant before this. I don't even like sci-fi.
Now, look what I've written. There's an insane fight, politics so deep that George R.R. Martin can't figure them out, and then just women who can beat the shit out of you.
And all I have to do is pour coffee into this guy, and you're just like curled up in the corner.
Please,
Spice. The spice is caffeine.
I need the spice.
Spice is caffeine.
The spice is like caffeine and LSD together.
Nice. Good combo.
Mm-hmm.
Lucky
Spackle Dog.
Spackle Dog requests attention, but he will not get it.
I'm looking at him. That's attention.
No.
Remember, that's how I get attention. People look at me. That's why I don't like kids. People look at them.
Wow, bastards.
Anyway, I got to fly in a couple days. Planes are just dropping out of the sky.
What?
This is probably going to come out after. Yeah, so they gutted...
Not paying attention to the news.
as part of Elon Musk... Well, one thing Trump tried to do was turn off the government's funding to everything, basically.
Yeah.
He was like, we're doing a pause on everything the government
Didn't we
funds.
do that during COVID?
That happened because the money couldn't be allocated because there was gridlock in the Congress. So they couldn't allocate the money. Congress has already passed the laws that the money's supposed to go to certain places, and Trump was like, no, we're going to stop that for a while.
And then,
Which is not how the government works, but it is now.
So we're running it like Elon Musk runs Tesla, where they come in, Elon Musk comes in, fires people, moves shit around. Or no, not Tesla, PayPal. He would he'd just come in, fucking fire people, move shit around, and then like the guy's manager would come back later and be like, yeah, you're going to go work in a different department now, but we're not going to, that's insane.
No, because people did leave. There were judges that were like, that's clearly not how the government works. The president's not allowed to do that. But they got FAA and other government employees to take buyouts and leave. So now the FAA is understaffed, and there have been a lot more plane issues in the past couple weeks.
That's why of all the things to defund the FAA,
they were saying it was because of diversity, equity, and inclusion. They're concerned that there are too many.
Oh my God!
Basically, there may be black people and women in jobs, which clearly they're not qualified for, even though the air traffic controller.
So you're saying I shouldn't move to Phoenix? I should just move out of the country?
Maybe to Phoenix and then go a little bit farther south.
Just keep going. Yeah. The problem is everywhere else I go, besides like Norway, nobody needs handymen. Canada, I guess.
They might.
Yeah, Canada does. Mexico does not. I can't.
They got them down there.
Yeah, they got them.
Well, don't we have all of theirs?
Brazil. No. That's not how that works.
Anyhow, I got to fly in like 3 days.
And
I don't want to now. I didn't want to before. And I recognize if it were a trip that I had already really been interested in going on, I would find a way to rationalize and just go on the trip. But because it's a trip with Allie's family that I initially didn't really want to go on, now I'm like, well, the plane's going to fall out of the sky.
Our birds' heads are falling off.
Our pets' heads are falling off. Ellie hates that movie.
It's a great movie. She's wrong. That's why she's the bad A.
As opposed to the one you aren't with anymore.
Still,
2 women ago.
She really fucked up. It is funny that every time I get out of a relationship, I was like, I'm like, I'll never find love again. So I've had to make a notes app on my phone of just a list of women. I was like, you're gonna be okay.
You're the funniest person to say that because it takes 2 weeks.
Yeah, you're gonna be all right. So quit panicking.
I bet you have been sitting in a bar thinking, I'll never find love again. Oh.
Oh, 100%. I am. Half of the reason I don't pay attention to politics is because even if I had the power to change things, I am smart enough to know that I am not the person who should be changing anything. I am too easily tricked. Get out there and vote if you're more intelligent than I am.
It'd be great if you were the president.
I am essentially, but not smart enough to be like, oh, well, this is a mistake.
But malicious you as the president.
Yeah.
It'd be great if, like, instead of like all the most evil people going to a dumb guy and being like, you know, the Jews said that your hair doesn't look very good, and he's like, the Jews have been very nasty to me. We're going to do something about this. Someone could just be like, hey, women would like it if you gave everybody health care. And you'd be like, okay, everyone has health care now. And you would immediately go to the nearest part of the White House and be like, hey, I just gave everybody health care. And then the women would be like, okay, sure, I'll fuck you for that. Everyone's happy.
That's my platform. I'm gonna run it. And then also, if somebody's like, hey, the Jews have been pretty mean to you, I'd be like, they're probably right. I don't know. I'm sure I did something.
I'm sorry I bothered them. Give them some kind of memorial, I guess.
Yeah, minorities probably have a good reason to be mad at a white guy in power. I'm going to take their word on this one.
If black people are mad at you, you'd be like, oh no, why? We have to make them like me.
What did I
say?
I know. I'll hold a black rally. It just make it worse immediately.
I know black people they're pretty into like the southern types of Christianity. So we'll put up a big cross, but they might not see it across the whole country.
So I better light it up. Just let him finish the idea. He'll figure it out at the end. But you do have to let him get through the whole idea. Oh no! Oh, they did that. Right. And it was bad.
Wasted half a day planning this.
It's like some guy got into the KKK just because he liked dressing up.
Wait a minute. Whoa. You guys.
I just thought we were doing like Halloween again. I just wanted an excuse to dress up in March.
You kept saying, we have to deal with these monsters and freaks. I thought you were talking about like movie guys.
Yeah. Have you seen Swamp Thing? I wanted to do Swamp Thing.
You're talking about our neighbors? Jesus Christ.
What do you have against Jim?
Well, that's not what we call him. I'm not saying it anymore. I just found out you guys mean it in a bad way.
Yeah, you guys. We might need to stop saying that word because you guys use it so negatively. White guys ruining the N-word.
See, that is how libertarians think, though. Like, they keep inventing buses.
I love that.
So
see, that was 5 years ago politics, so I know about that.
They keep being like, we should do... all right, cars, but the fact that everybody has their own one messes it up, so we should tie them together. And we could make it really efficient if they all went on one track. And, I made trains, but stupid.
How do I get Uber to carry 30 people?
What if we didn't have a fuel tank and it was connected to some sort of third rail? So now we get libertarians and tech bros doing that about wokeness. Just being like, wow, we're losing good talent because of racism. We should do something. We should make them feel welcome here.
What if we were to stop saying? What if we were to make it mandatory to have like, because there's black people are 10% of the population, Hispanic people are 15% of the population. What if we made it mandatory to have that amount of the population of that race in?
It makes sense with the numbers.
Given,
maybe that's how we figure. You just have to trick these people.
Well, it's so funny to me that so many people will be like, they're just giving like unqualified women or black people jobs in these fields, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, okay, first of all, that's not happening. Second of all, if it were to be happening, I think it's okay for your fucking ticker monitor worker to be unqualified. Like 99% of American jobs can have unqualified. Already have 85% unqualified white men. So if 5% of unqualified white women happen to get a job, okay. It's like so many people are like, if even one person gets on welfare that doesn't need welfare, then
we
the
gotta blow
whole
up the whole
system's
thing.
broken. It's like, no, that's much better. It's like, if everybody who needs welfare is getting welfare, and also Jim. Sorry, Jim.
Don't say Jim again. It's not. It's a different Jim.
Oh, I was trying to ruin the name.
This one's spelled G-Y-M.
Okay, Greg. Okay, and also Greg has healthcare or welfare and does not need it. Okay, that's fine.
Some
looking
people
at the numbers all wrong.
Some people think a better world is a world where everybody gets what they need, and some people think a better world is where the right people are hit really hard.
I dream of a world where we can do both.
Just have different opinions about the right people, but many people do need to be beaten with sticks in order to make America better.
It is astonishing that after the election we stopped trying to shoot the president. After the election,
Right. This is
now that he's doing stuff.
Not to inspire any more actions that will get pardoned later, but get them.
Have you read Catcher in the Rye? Read it closer.
It's not about John Lennon.
Oh,
the guy that shot Reagan is out of prison.
And what? Oh, fuck.
Jodie Foster needs to be like, take one for the team, Jodie Foster, and be like, if you kill Shmilan Skusk, I don't advocate real killing.
Wait, who's the? Oh, the VP's much worse. So please, God, don't. kill
JD
Trump.
Vance. Yeah,
actually, don't kill Trump.
He's a Catholic convert, which means demon.
How do you get converted to the worst religion?
Someone posted a text that had been sent to them by their Catholic friend, which is like all lapsed Catholics are like, I'm pretty sure we're supposed to give excess money to the poor, and all the Catholic converts are like, yes, according to the Guskabatine Conference of 742, Manskopusk of Parma says that actually women can't have driver's licenses.
So let's do that. Speaking of religion, because we gotta change the topic, I've determined that. Did I tell you the best strategy I have in the world for meeting women now?
Starting a cult where they religiously have to blow you?
No, just go to church.
Are they there?
They're there, especially out in Phoenix where all the white Republican women are who kind of deserve to get screwed a little.
And they all want gay husbands.
Yeah, see? A construction worker going out there and being like, no, I don't believe in the Catholic God, but I do believe there's something out there bigger than all of it. That's the guy who cleans up in that church.
That, to a Christian woman who's starting to get bored, that is a motorcycle and a leather jacket.
That's cocaine.
Right. It's like, oh, this is going to be insane. And then you'll make her come for the first time.
He drinks on a Tuesday.
He makes me come every time. Not even by accident. He knows what he's doing.
Intentional. Yeah, a white Republican blonde lady in Catholic church in Phoenix, Arizona.
Do they have Catholics out there? They're probably going to be some fucked up the desert. They're going to be one of the desert
Bible
religions.
Belt. They might be what's the
Baptist
crazy
is the
Baptist?
really crazy ones.
Yeah, they might be Baptists.
That's too far away though. Baptists are in the wet south.
They're different people.
You're going to be in the dry south.
Yeah, true. I also think if we're going
Not after he gets there, folks. Am I right?
Got him.
You're listening to Dingo and the Baby.
Dingo and the Baby. I do think that if we were to draw a line in the sand of these people are people and these people aren't people, I would nominate Baptists to be the first people on the other side of that line.
They are the most like ants in terms of their social structure.
Also, why are we dividing by race when we can divide by the things that make you do things, your ideals?
That's the thing. Is everyone's like, well, you have to judge people somehow, and liberals are like, no, we're all equal. It's like, no, you should. It should be whether they're funny, whether they're good at sex, whether women like them is like the most important gauge of whether you're cool.
And the judgment should be, I'm using this word wrong, but perfunctory. It should mean nothing. It should be like, you don't get to hang out with the cool kids. It
should be all socially informed. Everybody gets the welfare money, but when you go to the office to pick up the welfare money, if you're a dick and you're mean to people, no one's happy to see you when you get to the welfare office.
You can feel it. And if you can't feel it, that sucks. But we're doing it.
There's going to be some people that are outskirts.
So, you know how growing up, you would always, everybody would say in high school is like, if you're in a friend group and one of you is the friend that everybody hates, but you don't know it, right. Then you're the friend that everybody hates. I don't know which of our friends everybody hates anymore. So I'm like, shit. I think it might be adulthood, but also
adulthood, it gets more complex. Now everybody kind of like, in most of the group chats I'm in, I have separate texts with individual members about the other individual member that they don't like. And I'm sure some of them have that about me.
I say I'm not in any of those group chats. I really hope it's because I'm such a blatantly honest person. I really hope it's because Connor can't keep a secret. Here's hoping.
Someone is texting something in a group chat, and I'm constantly going to other people like, let's see what that fucking idiot just said. And I'm sure they're doing it to me. You need this to make complex
see, the problem is work. That I tell the guy, I'm like, oh, he didn't put it in the right group chat. You're being a dumbass. Comedy has worn through me being... I think the kindest thing I have the ability to do anymore is to be ridiculously honest with people, and comedy has destroyed what's left of that.
But comedians are like, you have to tell me what's bad about what I'm doing so I can get better.
Yeah.
Normal people don't like hearing these things.
Yeah. I don't hang out with normal people. I think that's why. I hang out with jiu-jitsu people where it's like, if you're doing the wrong thing, you'll kill me. So very blatant information.
It is funny how right-wing your hobbies are.
I know, and I'm not doing it. I'm not being right-wing.
It's good. We can't keep talking about politics.
Well, you did just steer it there, I will say.
I'm admonishing myself. Did we tell people why this is the last one?
I'm moving to Phoenix.
They figured it out.
No, we said I'm moving to Phoenix, and that's just the euphemism for we're putting Kellen down.
Wait, you moving to Phoenix is
a euphemism for we're
killing
putting you
me.
Down. Yeah, that's why I'm renovating the house, because I have to sell it before I kill you. Because if I sell it afterwards, it's gonna get.
They gotta put it on the thing that a person died here, and I would haunt it.
It'd get all jammed up in the legal system.
You get all jammed up with paperwork because I killed that guy.
Yeah, no, we're having one last good day of you drinking, and then we're going to talk about the farm you're going to upstate.
One last pup cup before.
And I'm going to push you into the lake.
Well, for the first 20 minutes, I'll be thrilled.
Yay, I'm in the lake.
Well, that's what I wanted. So you might want to cancel your Patreon, folks, but...
We'll also handle that for you, because
come on, let them keep paying if they're stupid.
Well, also, any money that ends up... If we have struggled to cancel the Patreon, any other money that comes in is just going to advertising. So, not the podcast, but my other ventures. I'm not quitting comedy.
They don't have it in Phoenix, so he's bringing it.
Comedy. It's going to be funny walking into Phoenix, because in Chicago, there's such a saturation of like really quality comics that it's hard to stand out.
Right.
Like Hannibal Buress came from here. John Mulaney came from here. Like there's real talent
It's
here.
Second City.
Can you name a Phoenix comic?
Doug Stanhope moved to Arizona because it was near the border and he wanted Mexican drugs. That's as close as I can get you.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm sure there's talent out there, but I don't plan to do a lot of open mics there. I plan to go to the clubs there and be like, hey...
You should open up your mic.
Yeah, I can do 20. What do you got going on here?
And traditionally, comics love when people they don't know come in and go, I know about this.
They do. We don't like change.
I don't know how often you've realized it, that like you've brought me into a group of comedians and then you walk away and they all just they look at me with like dogs whose teeth are getting sharper, like, you fucking piece of shit, you're not one of us. What are you doing backstage?
That's why I mentioned the fact that you do podcasts. Because they're like, oh, the nice ones will give you the oh yeah, okay. So you get it. Also, if you start doing bits, then they'll be like, okay, you speak the same language. Because all that it means to be a comic is that your love language is bits, and that's the only way you know how to talk.
And my name in Allie's phone is Skits and Bits.
Skits and Bits. It can be It's Just Bits in a minute here.
That'll be all there is.
Yeah.
And I was talking about the podcast to one of the people that works under me at work, so I couldn't tell him anything about how he could find it, basically. So he goes, what is it like? Is it just bits? And I was like, yes, that is. That's the name. I can't tell you, though.
That's fucking...
But yes, it is.
So we did a good job naming it.
Primarily bits.
So then we did good naming it.
Yeah, clearly.
We made the right decision.
It is a great name, too.
Yeah, it's just bits.
It's got a little bit of, like, not a rhyme.
It's and bits.
It and bit, yeah.
It's and bits. It's just bits. They're both plural. It's bits.
They do rhyme. That's true.
Yeah. No, I'm thinking of doing the podcast in Phoenix and keeping the name, but I think that might be like heresy.
Yeah, you can't have this podcast in Phoenix.
But there's already so many. But we've done all the work.
We already made the branding.
Yeah.
You got to call it It's Just Bitch 2 or something.
Because then I could just change the name.
It's Just Bitch.
It was just me complaining about politics that I don't know about.
Just like, and then he's in the Oval Office. He's doing stuff in there, and I'm like, come on, Jack.
Well, because I gotta make
just tits.
Just only have female comics on.
You gotta,
this is why did I agree to this? This is horrifying.
You gotta get the punctuation in there. It's clits. Just tits. Free? No. Money down.
The Simpsons, the best program ever. Well, yeah, because all the branding and stuff is still here, and I don't know.
Whatever, you can do it.
We'll decide off. It feels like heresy. It feels like.
It feels disrespectful,
dishonest.
Certainly.
Call in now. Vote.
Call now. Tell us.
Vote by text if I should keep the
Tell
name.
us if you think I'm an important part of It's Just Bits brand.
I do. I do.
No, because here's the thing. If you go to Phoenix and keep calling it It's Just Bits, I will forever be a Pete Best of like, this guy was on It's Just Bits before. No, you've never heard him because you've heard the popular version of It's Just Bits.
Oh, God. Like the first 300 episodes of the Joe Rogan Experience.
Right,
it just got lost. I would have to change the name, but the name's the best part.
I like to think It's Just Bits, the new version, gets famous, and then people are like, you can check out the old stuff, but you've polished some stuff, so they listen to us just like, yeah, he's fucking a clown.
Yeah, just a supercut is the first 100 episodes cut down to 45 minutes.
And like, oh, what the fuck?
This is insane.
How did this become anything?
Yeah, any episode with Jonny Blaise is a great episode, because if you're listening to this, you finished the podcast, so if you want to do a victory lap.
You gotta
clowning around.
We're not going to do a clip show because we're not lazy.
We've done clip shows in the past.
No, have we?
Where we just like redid our best bits? Absolutely.
Well, we didn't just go edit the clips in. We just did our bits again.
We just did them again.
That's not a clip show. That's how this podcast... It's whatever we want to talk about. And sometimes we want to talk about how we were funny 2 weeks ago.
Well, because we still talk about Tremors to date. So
yes,
that's just how
Tremors is still relevant to our lives.
Any episode with Jonny Blaise, honestly, best guest we've ever had. Dude's fucking great.
I think the first Jonny Blaise episode is one of our best.
Yeah.
Obviously, Clownin Around.
Yeah.
Icelandic Penis Museum.
And then there was another one before Clownin Around.
Decline is one I like. That might be after Clownin Around.
Mm.
But that was right after Ukraine got invaded. And things seemed to be going pretty bad.
They still are.
Right, but that was like... I don't know. It was a somber moment, and I feel like somehow we, like the joking, captured the somber moment. It worked.
So it's like an art piece, if you want.
Yes, the one labeled Decline is very much an art piece.
And then I like Raven Brand cereal. I fucking love that episode because it's so annoying. That's why I love it.
Oh wow, God! What a night! I've got I got the milk in the bowl. I just gotta wake.
I was having cereal for dinner. I'm obviously depressed. I don't need a raven screaming at me. And every time they scream, ever more.
God, Allie listened to that one and she was just like, so, really got on to that Raven brand bit, huh?
You know how like some comics will keep a bit around not because it's a good bit, because it pisses off the audience. Raven brand cereal, baby.
Bill Burr in Philadelphia, who demands to take all of his time even though they're all booing him constantly. It's us with Raven brand.
Yeah, Raven brand cereal is my aristocrats.
We should do some kind of aristocrats joke where it's all like they're all shit fucking each other in the puke pussy or whatever, and then at the end they go, and we had Raven brand this morning,
and at the end they go, ah! the raven is cawing through a gargled cock.
If a tree falls in the forest, does it make a sound? Can a raven call while sucking a dick?
A raven cannot suck a dick, for it has no lips. To begin this riddle is impossible.
True. That's why.
If it's in a forest and there's no one around to see the fact that it has no lips.
Can it do something to the dick that the dick will experience as
sucking? This is the philosophical moments that you're going to miss when we no longer have it.
You know what noise a raven would make if you sucked its dick?
I thought there was going to be some kind of wordplay in there.
No, it's not. Just
raven. It only really makes the one noise.
They can make human noise. They talk like people if they want.
That's why it's so astonishing that you're just screaming.
They can perfectly imitate a human voice. They prefer to go.
They can be like, why did you
time.
put me in that? Yeah, no, listen to the Raven brand cereal with your headphones turned down.
Oh, God, Raven brand cereal.
Yeah.
Oops, all ravens. Didn't we start with like it was cereal with also ravens in it?
Yeah.
And then it became just a box of ravens.
Just a box of ravens. Because I see this as like everybody hates this bit, but I fucking love it.
This is good.
That's like, every musician has an album where they're like, I really thought the song that was going to go off in this album was Octopus's Garden. But nobody likes that song.
I'm surprised.
Raven brand cereal.
I'm not surprised people hate the Raven brand bit. I'm surprised that people who listen to this podcast and enjoy this podcast hate the Raven brand bit.
Yeah, true. I'm sure it's hard to listen to because it's so noisy, and we should stop doing it on the last episode. Because we do want people to listen with some form of reverence and not be shocked every 30 seconds. But as comedians, it's the funniest thing we can do to make each other laugh.
we just like, caw.
Caw.
Joke.
Folks. That's the noise they make when you're sucking their dick.
No, that's the noise they make when they want dick. Ravens flying around North Hallstead like, caw.
Oops, all gay ravens.
All Gavins.
All Gavins.
More like the fucking Baltimore Gavins, am I right?
Got 'em.
They all touch each other in the locker room.
That's not the hockey that I watch. I don't even know it's hockey. It's football.
Baltimore Ravens is.
I don't know Baltimore sports teams.
Ravens. I think that's and the Orioles. I know a lot about sports now. Mm-hmm. You ever seen that tweet? And here, it's just other people's bits. We're really doing the hits here.
Yeah.
That tweet that's like,
the regular.
more like the Jacksonville more like the Jacksonville crap wires.
Oh, they ruined it.
Can't say it anymore because some people meant it.
That's what ruins all these great bits that we're doing.
It's 20 seconds
People
after we
mean
say
it.
it as a bit.
Yeah.
Somebody on 4chan says it and they mean it. Have we done a podcast since my cat died?
I don't think so, no.
Cat's dead. Think about her every day.
Condolences. You want to keep it? You want to get a dog? You can have this dog.
No. Take Spackle Dog to Arizona.
Rats. The only part I'm not looking forward to is the drive, because 26 hours in the car with a rambunctious dog that I have is not going to be awesome.
Well, Benadryl is the thing.
I'm not going to Benadryl him. He'll freak out worse. Because when he gets high on Benadryl or Trazodone, he paces. Not great in the car. So
heroin.
No, he's...
There's fentanyl is pouring over our borders, I've been told. Get some of that and put it in him.
Yeah, it's pretty easy to find. But I've been told, he sleeps for 12 hours a day. So the move is right when I wake up in the morning, take him on a walk, get him to pee, put him in the car. He'll just sleep in the passenger seat.
Make that this 12 hours.
And
well,
then,
it's more than that, but...
Yeah. Well, no, because I'm doing half the drive and then the other half. So it'll be,
okay.
I'll drive for 12 hours. When the dogs start getting rambunctious, find a hotel, and then go sprint them in the fucking parking lot of a hotel in the middle of a cornfield.
That is one of the best part about a long road trip. It is so much fun to go, I'll find a hotel when I'm tired.
Yeah, it's nice.
That's such freedom.
Well, the problem is I can get a free hotel if I plan it ahead. But
Well, fuck it.
Yeah.
What's a hotel in the
$150.
middle of Kansas cost?
$150. But the problem is, I don't know if you know this, but renovating a house and then moving into an apartment is expensive.
Really?
And Chase keeps draining my fucking bank account.
I am sorry, that has to be your fault. If it happened twice, you have to have a setting that you fucked up.
I don't know. I didn't touch it.
I do. I know.
I know.
Now,
No, after it fucked up the first time, I checked all the settings.
Here's what I'm asking.
And they were
though.
off.
Did you not have a balance on your credit card like this, and you always wanted to pay the whole thing off, and now that you have a balance because you're moving and incurring expenses, now that whole balance keeps getting paid off, and you don't want that to happen? What's your account number, by the way?
See, if you just talk at me fast enough. I'm easily tricked in things.
I used to have a thing where I would realize I was talking too long, and I would try and salvage it by talking longer about something that I hoped was funnier.
It's a vicious trap.
But now I have realized you just find a punchline.
Wherever it is.
Generally, you can just ask people for their social security number, and they will laugh.
It's a safe line. Always a good bit. Like if a scene is ever struggling in improv, I just walk through and hand a character a gun. Works every time. See, you laughed at the idea of it. It works great.
I'm laughing at the idea of someone who's really into the dramaturgical qualities of improv, and he's like, he just keeps bringing a gun in. I'm trying to build to something. No one lasts for 10 minutes, and he's like, here's a fucking Uzi. And now I have to shoot this woman that I've been trying to make the relationship work with.
Yeah, too bad. You're bad. Knock it off. Yeah, and it's funny because I don't even know how many years of improv in Chicago since I was 18. 10 years of improv in Chicago, and I'm still just like, I'm just dicking around. Go out to Phoenix, I'm teaching the classes.
It's gonna suck if you get out to Phoenix and you find out they're all real people, but I'm pretty sure that you have a lot of advantages having lived in a major city.
Yeah.
Going out to Phoenix, just like...
Well, my friends who have gone out there and been like either doing improv or doing stand-up are like slim pickings. They got 8 comedy clubs and no fucking comics. I'm like, oh, cool.
Now, but are you going to have to do comedy for the kind of people that live in Arizona, which are, I would assume, son and drug-addled freaks and retirees who are pretty sure that black people are vampires?
Except for the black people being vampires, I'm great with those audiences. Drug-addled freaks is right down the middle.
Drug-addled freaks, but how many of them are in the comedy club at once?
And then also...
They're all backstage.
middle-aged white women is also right in my fucking... in the wheelhouse.
It's middle-aged white women, great demographics. I mean, not if you're a waiter, but if you're trying to make them laugh.
Yeah. Real easy laugh. Because they think they have a terrible life. They think it's awful in their 4-bedroom house.
Also, I mean, I'm going to be the same way, but like the older you get, the more you just want to be flirted with. Mm-hmm. And that's just... I've embraced it at this point, but naturally... The way I act, people interpret it as flirting.
Yeah.
So older women are like,
everybody wants to fuck a MILF. Nah, nah, nah.
You all do, whether you realize it or not.
A MILF's not going to come up to anybody and be like, well, you want to go? And they're going to be like, nah,
come on.
Nah, I'm good.
No, your tits are too big and you're too confident.
Yeah, I hate all of that. Oh, good times. Good times had by all. I am excited to leave, though, dude. I was sitting here in a holding pattern for the last couple weeks because I'm like, it's too early to start renovating because it's going to demolish my house, and I can't just have my house demolished for the next month.
Right.
And it's too early to like start packing, and it's too.
But you can't do anything long term because you will be out soon.
It's too late to be like, let me get on this show. Let me work. Let me hit up some of my booker friends and be like, hey, can you put me on? And they'll be like, in 3 months. And I'll be like, fuck.
Well, not flying here.
So it's too early to do anything, and it's too late to do anything. So I'm just losing my mind. And then my sister's like, why don't you just leave early? And I'm like, thanks, crazy sister who travels constantly.
Drug-addled maniac.
Yeah, exactly.
She's probably not all that drug-addled.
No, she's doing great, but she's an expert at travel. Right. So
from back when she was.
So from the time she was 17, we're like, this person's insane, and now that she's made a living out of traveling, pretty much,
it's crazy.
Well, we've been like, oh no, she's just good at it. But you do, if you want to make a living doing something crazy, you have to be crazy for a while.
I do like your sister is just more of you.
Mm-hmm. Well, she's coming out to Phoenix with me for an extra car.
Yeah.
So we can, and she's got a Prius, so it costs her like $8 to drive there. So, yeah, so I have an extra car full of stuff, and I'm like, yeah, how long are you staying? She's like, I don't know, like a month. And I'm like, oh my God, how can you do that?
It's probably good for you, though.
Oh, it's great. Yeah. The only thing is, since I'm doing the comedy scene, open mics are not a place for friends and family. That's like bringing your friends and family to work. It's weird.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't like it when you bring me.
Yeah, which is weird because you are a comic.
Yeah.
You do podcasts, and in daily life, the only way you communicate with other people is through bits. That is being a comic. I
didn't put the metaphor's gone to say what you were saying.
Yeah, no, you didn't stand up. You don't like doing it in front of a crowd. You like doing it in front of a
sit-down comedian. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to tell that to people, and old white women are going to love that joke.
They love it.
You were saying.
Yeah, so that's why when I introduce you to the cool ones, they're like, oh, yeah, no, this
we
guy.
can work with this.
Yeah, we can work with this guy. He speaks the language. He walks the walk. He talks the talk. You're a different type of duck. You're a duck. You're a mallard.
I do spend a lot of time with geese. Can I be a loon? I want to be a loon.
You can be a loon for this metaphor.
No, for real. Loon brand cereal. I can't imitate a loon noise. That's not what their call is haunting and beautiful. You can't imitate that.
Oh, I assume they haunt.
Look up a loon call.
Add that in. They make that call in the night in horror movies.
Yeah, they're somewhat scary animals. It's great. You generally hear them like you go like up in the North Woods. You hear them like there's a bunch of mist out over the lake, and just someone going ooh, but it's a bird.
It is a somber awooga, is what it is.
Yeah. It's like a jalopy horn except introspective.
If they just detuned it.
I have to send this to myself so I can splice it into the podcast.
Yeah, it's like a jalopy horn in a hearse.
You're in the middle of a fucking funeral procession, asshole. Ooh.
That's great. Oh, Lord.
You moving to Phoenix, like you talking about being excited leaving, I am getting a little bit of a hair up my ass about it. I'm like, I mean, my life has gotten slower than it has in the past. Maybe I just fucking do something crazy. Maybe I move real far across the country.
The difference is this move has been 10, 20 years coming.
You've been planning it.
From the time I was a child, I was like, I can't be here during the winter. Holy crap. And then I went to Los Angeles, and I was like, I need to move here because it was the first warm place I've ever been. And then I went to Phoenix for a while, and I was like, this is a little better. Because Los Angeles keeps setting on fire. And
it's full of Hollywood sickos.
And, it's got the same problem as the comedy community in Chicago has, where it is, I am a big fish in a big pond. So there are a lot of other big fish. Yes. Especially since I don't plan to get famous till Louis C.K. age, just 55.
Until after you've harassed enough women.
Yeah. No, that's the problem. That's what's holding me back. It's because I do this as a slow burn thing. I'm not trying to win a sprint here. I'm winning a marathon, you know? So.
The way you're talking, it really sounds like I'm going to be a Pete Best.
Yeah.
Pete Best kept in contact with the Beatles.
Right. Yeah, that's true. Is I will still, when you're huge, I will still get to go to the party.
No, and also it's a goal. It's every musician's, every comic's goal to be the Beatles. Almost none of them do it, but like I'm okay with that being a lifetime thing. Like if that's the direction I'm always walking towards, that's a fun direction to walk. You know,
and sometimes you get bored when you're there. Jim Jeffries still wants to kill himself, so
yeah. So that's what I'm.
Might as well take
do.
a while.
So there's Hannibal Buress might be an awful example because he's high all the time, but is a good example of somebody who's like, I'm doing this because it's fun. If success happens along the way, okay, you know. So
it's not very important to me that you get successful because I just want to be in the situation. Like I want to meet your Hollywood friends.
Have you heard Pete Best talk about it? He's pretty happy. He's very happy. He's like, yes, it does suck that I'm not a member of the Beatles, but it's also amazing that I'm not a member of the Beatles.
It is,
I can get groceries.
It's all you ever are.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, that blows. That'd be interesting to find out. I'm also decently famous, but I don't get mobbed at stores. But yeah. So it's like, it's good, but it's bad.
But I want to meet I want to go to some incredibly expensive party in Hollywood or New York or wherever because it's your special's finally coming out and like
it won't be New York. Why do you think I'm leaving Chicago?
Why
they
would I
have
go? Summers.
Yeah, true. Snowboarding. That'll be the best part. Is coming back to Chicago just during the summers. Oh, that's highlights. That's highlights Chicago.
The opposite of snowbirding.
Yeah.
Well, that is just what snowbirding is. Yeah. But I want to meet your Hollywood friends, and they can be like, "Oh,
you do have a past.
Right.
You better still be friends with me when I'm 70, because that's when I'll have Hollywood friends."
You're like, I missed you so much. Yeah, is the bar open here? It's like, he's just like you said, inconsiderate, booze hound.
Oh, once he gets a few drinks in him, it's a great time.
God, this is because my favorite thing is to be in circumstances that are wealthier than I am.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's a lot of fun.
But you got to go find the wealthy circumstances.
I find them wherever I go.
Pete's second best.
Hey, got another one. What time are we at? I might crack open that bottle of wine.
There he goes. One of God's own prototypes. A high-powered mutant of some kind never even considered for mass production. Too weird to live, and too rare to die.
Yeah, but I've got to do a going away party for stand-up comedy. I'm doing a going away party for improv. This is the Friends one today, pretty much. And then, yeah. Lord.
It's tough to leave your life behind.
Yeah. But, wouldn't be much of a life if I killed myself because the winters make me so sad.
Yeah, you got to go to Phoenix.
I know.
It is like... It's making me want to do irresponsible things. I'm like, it is going to be cool to have everything be brand new.
Yeah, it is. It's fun. But this isn't an irresponsible decision. This is 10 years in the making. Like, this is...
For me, it would be irresponsible.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm going to move to Boston.
Just to get on the opposite coast. Space Coast.
Yeah,
coast to coast.
Just getting away from you.
As far as I can go. Well,
I've been trying to push you away for 9 years.
Unsuccessfully. I don't take hints. What? No. I've been very clear about this. Here's to falling off the wagon.
Off the wagon. Connor's first drink in forever.
A year and 3 months.
What sound effect do I put in there?
And
for
I'm blacked out.
Oh, God. His pupils are gone.
Let's go to Vegas.
It'd be a short drive from Phoenix.
Yeah, oh, yeah. It's 6 hours to Vegas, 6 hours to Mexico, 6 hours to LA. So
that's crazy.
A lot of great
Vegas
day
is
trips.
You're New Wisconsin.
All right. Yeah. There's going to be some solid day trips out there. Yeah. And I mean, Phoenix is awesome too.
Anytime I go to Vegas, I'm just going to be like, drive here. I don't go to Vegas ever.
Yeah, I might. If anybody who's listening to this podcast, if you listen to this podcast, we're friends.
Right. Thanks for the money, but you could have gotten this for free.
Whether we're actually friends or you're just a fan and you're like, I don't know, I just listened to the show. I don't think that they'd like me just shooting a text. Shoot a text to the number if you're coming to LA, Phoenix, Vegas, or I forget the area in Mexico that's right next to Phoenix, but there's an area in Mexico.
Isn't it Tijuana? Isn't it right there?
Oh, yeah, TJ's right there. I call it TJ now.
Wow, you're cool. Or dangerous.
No, because that's what it shows up as in all the Reddit posts I've been Googling about it, of like, what do I do in TJ? How do I buy property there? That shit.
That's all right. The Reddit community around white guys buying property in Tijuana must be an eclectic bunch.
They're like, how do I buy it closest to either water or hookers? That's the two things. And the guys who are looking for drugs in Tijuana are not concerned with buying property. Because that's
They're
a
on
lot
a day
of
trip.
that's a lot of money to tie up that could be used for drugs. A second mortgage.
We're down here a lot. I feel like maybe we should invest in a condo. You fucking idiot. That's drug money.
That's $800 a month that we're not spending on heroin.
Terrible catch-22.
Yeah. Well, so I was looking up, since I've got like 9 more fucking back operations coming up, and they give you dog shit painkillers. I'm like, let me just go to Tijuana, pick up OxyContin before the surgery, and do that. So I was like, okay, what's OxyContin go for in Tijuana? Dirt cheap. Awesome. And then they're like,
Careful, you're not going to make it back one of these days.
oh, I'm not going to make it back the first time because they did a test strip. They bought like 100. They went to a bunch of places and bought OxyContin at all of them. And like 15% of them were actually OxyContin. 85% were just fentanyl. And I'm like, oh, Lord.
That's why it's cheap.
Yeah. Well, no, because the 15% that were actually OxyContin were the same price.
Right, but it's cheap because you don't know
Yeah, yeah. Well, you can buy test strips. So the move is just go out
to
there.
buy test strips and buy a statistically significant amount of Oxy.
Yeah. Or buy it from local source. One guy. When you find the guy that's
When
not
you find the guy that's not
fentanyl,
selling you fent, yeah.
Yeah. That's the guy you go back to. I'm sure it'll be slightly more expensive, but I can afford the pesos.
And they did just crash against the American dollar
Really?
because of, tariffs. They'll bounce back.
Yeah. Once they figure out how tariffs work.
We're not talking about politics.
No, we're talking about illegal drugs, and this is a confession.
I can't believe how much I've taken, how snooty I was as a kid. It's incredible that I've taken to shitty beers and cigarettes are like that. I love it so much.
Well, it's I don't know. I'm gonna say the same thing everybody who has kids would say. It's lying to your kids that causes the problem. I'll never lie to my kids. Because now it's like, if you were just to tell
Yes,
kids...
Mommy is my third favorite.
If you were just to tell kids, no, shitty beers are phenomenal, but you can't.
But you can't.
They would...
Don't start smoking until you're in college.
Because that's the real answer.
First of all, you're allowed to smoke in college, and then you have to quit, and then you have one every once in a while.
Yeah, those are the rules.
I'd say that's a perfectly reasonable upper class attitude.
Ty just finally got out of smoking. He was trying to quit for years, and then he got married, and he's like, well, just kind of got me by the balls on this one.
They can make it do. I mean, I kind of was a smoker until I started dating Allie.
Yeah.
And now it's like, now I make puppy dog eyes, and I'm like, it's a special occasion.
Well, especially because they're like, I do have to date somebody who does not smoke and does not like the smell of smoke. Because if I date somebody who's like, no, go ahead, I don't give a shit, that's going to be a
Then
problem.
you're going to, yeah.
Especially now
Chimney.
that I'm back drinking. Danger zone.
It is incredible how, like, halfway through the second beer, it hits.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not a part of my life normally. Halfway through the second beer, it's like,
It's so insanely tied to alcohol to me. And then, like, cokeheads will be like, yeah, every time I drink. And I'm like, I get it. It's similar.
It is stress to me, too. If I've had, like, a long, shitty day, I will be like, I want a cigarette. There's one dude at BTN who, like, who definitely smokes because...
Oh, no, I know.
Because he's giving me a cigarette. Yeah. He's always kind of stressed. It's great. He's a very fun guy to hang out with.
No, I know the guy. He's a cool guy.
Archetype of
He's an awesome guy.
No, he's a good guy. But I went up to him at the end of like a 10-hour shift, and I was like, yeah, dude, can I fucking bum one? Because I need one after all this. I'll give you $3 if you want.
I'm sure he was like, no.
Let's
go smoke.
That's the socialism of smokers. Honestly, this is why the world will be saved by bar folk. Because, like... I have to buy people drinks because I don't have cigarettes on me anymore. So to bum a cigarette, I got to buy them a beer or something. But it used to be, if anybody ever needs a cigarette, You give him one. Unless you're down to 2 or whatever. But you
Yeah.
give him one. And if you need a cigarette, you can ask for one. And you never exchange cigarettes with the same guy. But
No,
over time,
it's a universal
everybody just
currency.
helping each other out.
Yeah.
It works. It's
Well-
called a gift economy. And degenerates are the only people in this country.
Well, I had noticed that I had started incurring too much of a debt. I had bummed too many while drinking and not given back to
Yeah.
the community enough. So what I started doing for like a 6-month period while I was drinking there, I was just, if you were a smoker, I'd buy you a pack or I'd buy you whatever. And then just like I'd smoke a couple that night.
And
I'd
you
have
can
a
have the
few,
rest.
and then just leave the rest with him. And I did that for like 6 months. I was like, I'd just buy it back. And then I was like, okay, mentally, I was like, I can feel that I've got some gratis to work with.
Right.
So now I can start digging into it again.
You ready to feel like a worse person than me? I used to, right in the beginning of when I was dating Allie, but I was still similar to how I was before. And I would be like, God, I'm having a cigarette right now. I would have 1 or 2 cigarettes and I would give the pack to a homeless guy.
Yeah, no, that's a good move too. I prefer to give it to somebody who can give me something back because I'm a monster.
Wow.
Yeah, no, I've done that a few times. There's a vestibule in front of my building. Often, when it gets too cold, homeless people just like sleep in there, and it's a big problem with the HOA community. They're like, "Oh,
They
this
sleep in that
homeless-
thing?
The little thing, yeah, it holds heat."
I guess, yeah. It would.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, it's a horrible issue. And I'm like, yeah, we should really be letting them in. And they're like, no, how do we keep them out? And I'm like, you fucking idiots.
It's
We
ins-
have an area with couches that nobody uses.
I
That's
sat
the
on that
place.
once, and I think it's the only time anyone's ever sat on that.
Yeah, nobody uses it. It's literally for homeless people to get in out of the cold. Fuck you. That's
It
what
is.
it's for.
It is baffling how often someone will be like, "There's a real homeless problem, and the problem is that I can see them. Not that they're homeless; it's that I can see them."
Which is where I actually agree with church people, because church people are like, well, voting hasn't changed anything, so I'm just going to volunteer at homeless organizations. And I'm like, okay, respect.
That's good.
Yeah.
There's been a big discussion of whether you're supposed to love your neighbor, and the Christian side is going with no.
Yeah, because their neighbor's Mexican.
Well, essentially, that is their thing.
Whoa. Somehow that's political. We can't get back
No.
stuck back in the
I'm just saying I'm a better Christian than most of them.
Most of them, yeah.
Not dying on a cross, though. I refuse.
Oh, no, I will. That's the benefit of having depression. If I know I'm dying for a cause, easy. Call it.
He might be Christ,
I
folks.
will walk.
He certainly looked like it in college.
No, I'm just suicidal.
Jesus was probably
Probably a little bit.
He's probably bipolar or something. One of the things that makes you interesting.
Well,
We're
he
at
cursed a
1:15.
fig tree. I think we paused too much. We should keep going. Also, it's the last one.
Yeah, we got. I mean, what do we got? A deadline?
No.
Dude, I love when I do stuff like what do we got? A deadline? I love when I do that
Porky Pig in
organically. Yeah, full on Porky Pig in it in a drafty dome. That is the best SNL skit. Do you know the one I'm talking about?
Nope.
It's where it's like there's 3 people are being interviewed after being abducted by aliens, and 2 of them are like I was shown the furnace of creation, what we would call God, and it was so beautiful I wept, and they laid me gently in my bed. And then Kate McKinnon goes like, well, shit, that's not what I got.
What floor were you guys on? I woke up in a dirty metal dome and 40 little gray aliens watched me pee in a steel bowl.
Yes, I see. Now, when you all awoke, were you clothed?
I had my shirt I came in with, but my pants were gone. So my coot was out. It was full Porky Pig in it in a drafty dome.
Perhaps they were collecting biological data?
No, that felt super off the books.
Cecily Strong and Ryan Gosling are the other 2 people, and Ryan Gosling can't quite
Cannot
contain
hold it
himself.
together.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm sure. He's not designed to. No, I felt super off.
It's insane that Ryan Gosling has been adopted by angry, lonely men as their guy. Meanwhile, he's the wokest guy.
I don't understand the people who are out here just like, there's a lot of options of what I can put my faith into and belief into. I'm going to go with hate. I don't understand it.
That'll make my life better.
It's like, have you ever been in a hateful place? It feels really bad. Stop it.
Stop it.
That's my message.
That's what we should do. When people are like, yeah, and the fucking foreigners ruining stuff, to be like, stop Stop it. No.
Bad.
No.
Knock it off.
Bad dog.
Well, so my aunt the other day is going off about, like, she doesn't really pay attention to politics. She doesn't really give a shit about any of this stuff, but she's talking and she's just like, yeah, I only watch one news source because they're the only ones who tell the truth, and that's where I get all my information. And I'm like, what news
It's
source?
just bits.
It's Fox.
Yeah.
I'm like, she's like, swear to God, she's talking about it like it's fucking BBC. She's like, all they report is the facts. There's no sensationalism. Every other news source is lying. Oh yeah, we're
It's
not
tough to
talking
find
about
impartial
politics.
people. I can talk about how I speak Irish now.
Go on.
It's farme. Agus is malum bior. I am a man and I like beer.
Please explain how you've come to this.
I mean, Duolingo. It probably sounds like shit to anybody that actually speaks Irish, but
but nobody does because
No.
they got that. They got rid of that.
They got them. There's like 3 places in the country that speak it. Which, yeah, there's no use for Irish that's not really good, because I can't be like, oh, I can ask where the bathroom is in a place where they only speak Irish. Because I'll be like, and they'll be like, we all speak English.
Speak English, yeah. There's no use. Yeah, of all the languages learned, you choose the least useful.
People
Latin.
want it.
You chose Latin.
People are trying to keep it alive. It's not dead yet. We're going to bring it back.
Yeah.
I mean, I say we. I'm speaking it to myself in Chicago, but...
Yeah, I'm going to keep going for Spanish. Feels like it might be more useful working in construction and moving to Phoenix.
Ya hablo español.
You know.
No necesito aprender español porque ya hablo español. Pussy. And a bit of German.
Maricón.
Hey, well, you can say it in that language.
Yeah. Well, also...
That means maricón means butterfly in Spanish.
Shush.
Mariposa means...
I thought that meant butterfly.
It does. Apparently, it also means pussy. But then again, one of my
Makes
dad's
sense.
untrustworthy friends told me that. So
I mean, pussy means like 4 things in English. So
that's true.
Yeah.
But concha is what I learned for pussy.
yeah, but again, it's
But there's plenty. But
Yeah.
there's also there's pussy, there's cunt, there's vag,
Yeah.
there's front hole.
not a lot of one uses that one.
What do you? It's not all that funny. There's front hole sounds like me trying to convince you to go to a bar that you shouldn't go to. Come on, there's front hole.
Let's go to front hole.
No.
I don't want to.
All right then, back hole. All right, let's go to front hole.
I don't want to go to any bar with the name hole in it, except for the rabbit hole. One's decent.
You got to fuck a rabbit to get in.
You have to be a magician.
No, but that's... Yes, you can pull a rabbit out of a hat. I can pull a hat out of a rabbit.
I can pull a rabbit out of my asshole.
I mean, that's less impressive than getting a rabbit into your asshole. Once she's in there, pulling him out's not that hard.
I would like to see both.
Because the thing
Pulling
is,
him out alive is the hardest.
true. Well, the
Not a
thing
lot of
about
hair.
rabbits and assholes is that when you're getting him in there, he's working against you. When you pull him out, he's working with you.
He's helping.
Or he's not doing anything
At all.
because he's suffocated on your ass fumes.
You'd be lucky to have ass fumes to breathe. You don't have anything. You're lucky to have ass fumes.
The only way I could walk uphill to school, uphill both the ways to school, what?
Was huffing ass
Was it
fumes.
the ass fumes? They would give you power.
Oh, that's how people talk about the...
Rabbit ass fumes.
That's how people talk about the hairspray that was just destroying the planet. Back in my day, that's all we had to breathe.
It was chlorofluorocarbons and rabbit gas. Rabbit gas. I got to do something with rabbit gas.
Rabbit
It's a
gas.
good phrase.
Started open a gas station.
Oh, rabbit gas. That's that one wizard from The Hobbit.
Nothing.
That's a great fucking joke that you of all people should get, okay?
Oh, the guy who...
Because his name is Radagast, but he has a sled of bunnies. He's using rabbits as gas, and it sounds like his name, and you're the only fucking person in the world who likes The Hobbit. Go to fucking Phoenix. Fuck you. If you're not going to get that joke, get the fuck out of here.
I am not kidding when I say I like The Hobbit so much that I also watch the animated one pretty regularly.
The Rankin
And
Bass?
I was thinking about the animated one. I was like, there's no real...
Jesus
He's
Christ.
not a featured character in the animated one.
Because he's not in The Hobbit, ever. Rabbit Gas is only in The Lord of the Rings, and he's only mentioned... Isn't Gollum super fucked up looking? I mean, he's always fucked up looking, but he's super fucked up looking in that.
They went too
animated
far.
one. Yeah. He didn't describe him super well in the
So
books.
they
So everybody did was like,
let's just
here,
ruin Elijah Wood.
you got to have a fucked up creature with big glowing eyes.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of different ways to do that.
Yeah, and they went for it.
I prefer Peter Jackson's because you can almost see his balls sometimes.
And that's what you really want to fuck Gollum.
Yeah.
Of all
Gollum.
the characters in Lord of the Rings, Gollum's the one to fuck.
Gollum these nuts, folks.
We're not even talking about the character Gollum in Lord of the Rings. We're talking about the clay man in Jewish myth, the Gollum.
I mean, if the clay is wet, it's probably...
Better to fuck than Gollum of Lord of the Rings.
Imagine being a Gollum ready to fulfill your purpose of killing Nazis, and you're just in a weird guy's basement.
And he's never putting that note in your mouth to go out and kill.
Right.
kill
It's
Nazis.
just like, no, stay there.
I could have you kill all the Nazis. You're bulletproof. But instead,
We're going to do... And that's how they won.
I'm putting your penis in my mouth, in your mouth, and I've written no instructions on it. So,
Because you know what you're supposed to do.
or he tattooed "suck" on the on the side of his head. That is half a glass of wine,
And you're immediately... half a glass of wine, and you're like, let's do dirty Jewish folklore.
somehow that's the only time I can keep it straight in my head. Not straight sexually.
No, because the Gollum is a male.
Straight narratively.
What if instead of a burning bush, God was a hot dude?
That'd be pretty gay. I don't know. I don't know.
Then I guess Moses would blow him. I don't. What do you want from me?
That's why they had to make it the allegory of the burning bush.
Didn't he have to take his sandals off or something?
I have no
There's something when he walks up to the burning bush, he has to take his sandals off because God wants to see those toes.
Because his sandals were the only flammable part of him.
Listen, folks, one thing about Yahweh, if you're naked, first thing he's licking is your toes.
Usually he cleans it with, water. But
There's
he'll
all
clean it with
kinds
you.
of washing feet in the Bible. A lot of times the phrase uncovered his feet is used as a metaphor.
The feet is a
for fucking.
big part. Quentin Tarantino co-wrote the Bible.
He goes back in time, and him and God sit down, and God's like, all right, so I want them to love their neighbor. And Quentin Tarantino's like, we got to get some N-words and toes in here.
Well, the N-words are going to be lost to time, but sure. The toes will stay.
Bible slurs. They did Bible slurs.
Speaking of, because...
Hashtag Bible slurs.
Hashtag Bible slurs. That's the name of the episode, Bible slurs.
Hashtag Bible slurs.
Two
You goddamn Ammonite.
two movie recommendations real quick.
Okay.
Number one, I forget the name of it, but a phenomenal sci-fi film. It's a man has lived for 14,000 years, and he reveals it to these people in a cabin in the woods, and there's like 8 of them, and they're all like philosophers and scientists.
heard of it.
He reveals to them that he's like, I've been around forever. And so many great sci-fi moments in it. Like they're saying, do you have anything from like when you were a child to prove like a tool from 14,000 years ago? And he hands the guy a pen, and he's like, keep that pen for 5 years, let alone 14,000 years. And I'm like, God, I mean, that's the right answer. And then he was
The man from Earth.
The man from Earth. And then he's like describing, he's like, I knew I was like, for the first few thousand years, it was all grass plains. And I vividly remember the first time I saw the ocean. And he's like, that's so vague. Like, where were you? He's like, we didn't have fucking continents, dude. I didn't know that the ocean existed until I saw the ocean. And I didn't have a name for it until you called it the ocean yesterday. Like, dude.
That is it. Yeah.
So many great fucking moments in that. And that is a quality recommendation of just a film to watch. And then here's a great recommendation for just a scene from a film to watch. I just watched this morning, Apollo 13. I've got 45 minutes left in it. Great fucking film. But
You haven't finished it?
no, it's just a 4-hour movie. I watch those in like their episodes in a Netflix show.
They don't make it back.
I know how Apollo 13 happened. I know historically what happened. But there's a scene in it where they go to tell the dementia-ridden grandma of one of the astronauts, like, hey, some shit's happening. It's getting wild out there.
She's like, it always is for me.
Yeah, I have dementia. And they cut to her staring into the television, flipping through the channels, trying to find the broadcast. And as much as she is staring at that television, she is staring into the face of death and not blinking. Like the stare on her face, that was not an actor. That was an 85-year-old woman with dementia whose only thought is, I don't know anything. I know I'm on my way out. So she's not in the room, but she's there. And they come in to tell her. And first thought was, don't. Why?
Yeah, what purpose?
Yeah, she's flipping through the channels and she's like, I might have the wrong day. But like, they tell her, and she sees, because the kids came with, because they're visiting grandma, and the kids are really upset because the kids understand what's going on, and the kids are 7 years old, so they're like ready to live the rest of their life without their dad. So she, for a brief moment, recognizes the fact that the kids are upset and asks, are you upset? Why? And they tell her, they finish explaining, like, he might not be coming back. And she's like, my Jimmy, if you were able to get a washing machine to fly, he could land it. Just to comfort the kids. She broke through dementia for the last time before she dies. Right. So good.
Because I've seen that movie and I know the context, it makes sense. With you explaining, it's like, did she? She's talking about a flying washing machine.
So those are my two big movie recommendations. One scene in Apollo 13 and the entirety of A Man from Earth.
I do actually want to see A Man from Earth really bad. You kidding me? His name's John Oldman?
Yeah. They address it. Towards the end, they're
I
like...
guess because he made it up.
Yeah.
Diegetically, he made that name up.
Yeah, he's like, so John Oldman. And he's like, I know, right? And then he goes through a list of all the ones he's gotten away with. He's like, I've done some pretty funny ones. Here's my best bits.
Jeff Immortal. Yeah. Come on. Immortan Joe.
Another great, there are so many great movie moments in that movie, but one of the great ones is like, believe it or not, my name, or at least the sound for my name, has always been John. And I'm like, that's such a good moment. Yeah, and then I'm not going to ruin it, but there's a great reveal at the end.
Turns out he's just a guy. He's finally convinced all of them, and he goes, yeah, it was all bullshit.
Fucking got him.
You can't believe you fucking believed me.
And then this was during Punk'd. Ashton Kutcher came out, and this was the first feature-length Punk'd.
Dude, imagine getting punked that bad. Imagine how, like, if
you're questioning your ideas.
You're like,
of life.
I don't think I know anything if I got fooled that badly. Come home to your wife. I love you. Do you? I don't.
Rip off your pet's head, be like, is there a camera in here?
Oh my God, cameras are made of meat and I never knew it.
I think that's the podcast, folks.
Sounds like it.
I think we have to go drink professionally for the last time. We're going to hang my jersey in the rafters of wherever we go drink.
Got it yesterday. Counter forward today.
Of the fever? That'd be funny.
No, not immediately.
That'd be great.
Wow, is that the podcast? Not forever, but...
Yeah, so I figure the move with the podcast, especially because I have to make plans on how to make friends in Phoenix.
Right.
So I plan to keep some podcast going.
If I'm a guest on my own podcast after you make It's Just Bits 2, it'll actually be fine, but it'll be funny.
Yeah, no,
I'll do a whole thing. I'll act mad about it the whole time.
We'll work out the logistics off mic, because that's a...
Don't you guys want to hear us talk about it?
Yeah, not a fun conversation. I mean... Text in your votes.
Patreon's been canceled. Thanks for all the money.
Yeah.
Stay subscribed to the RTS feed, whatever feed you're on right now.
Yeah.
What's it called?
No, it's an RTS feed.
Is it?
You're listening on Spotify.
Is that the right acronym?
Certainly.
Whatever you're subscribed to, stay subscribed to it. Some content may pop up there.
Yeah. We did a victory lap. We went through all the best episodes.
We're better
that
than
you should check out.
We're the best. You clowning around. Icelandic penis.
We've got a plan for the
Icelandic
future.
Penis pump. Future.
We don't have Johnny Blaise, but we'll say the N-word in his honor.
And podcast. That's the end.
You could end it.
Suddenly you're listening to another podcast. That's all.
Porky Pig in it.
I got a thing. If you don't have any other things, I have a thing. So when people ask me what this podcast is about, it is obviously about many things. It's about stand-up comedy. It's about how being gay is the best way to meet women. But the thing I always landed on telling people was it's a podcast about how we're friends. And that's been the whole thing. We're just talking.
And we're not friends anymore.
Oh, now it's over. We don't need this anymore.
We're going to shake hands and go end Stand By Me after this.
No, this is a podcast about how we're friends because our friendship is one that's fun to listen to, even if we don't even try to do anything with it. So I don't know. I love you, man. You've been the biggest influence on my life over the past 7 years. No one else comes close.
In a negative way.
I was literally about to say, often even in a positive way.
Yeah, dude. No, it's been a wild. Like, success aside, like we have done cool things. We've done live shows. We've done. We've been bought by Australians.
Right.
We've fucking had gift
We
exchange
sold our
with
scripts.
Australian people. Yeah, we did like a lot of cool shit as a podcast, but like even off the books, it's just been a riot. And
it's just been fun.
By the way, the best podcast is the second we stop recording. Sorry, everybody, but every time.
You're missing the juice.
It's like once we get the mics out of our face, every time it's like, oh, it can breathe easier.
And that's why people are like, most of the people who listen to this are our friends, not just because only our friends listen to it, but because this is just what it's like to be around us talking.
But like 10% better.
It's better to be in person, yeah.
Yeah. It's been a fucking wild ride and a ton of fun and an insane accomplishment. And I definitely take this as a huge win and a huge win for our friendship that is now over.
Yeah, this is it. You know what sucks is phones aren't. So we can't keep talking.
Yeah, they don't have landlines in Phoenix.
Dude, it's amazing. You go back there, and when you cross the Arizona state line, you're on a modern train, and then it's a fucking steam engine.
Yeah,
immediately.
Oh, I've got to take a wagon to my front doorstep, a covered wagon. I'm not driving.